Hey team, we're going to go ahead and kick off the Wie.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Brigadier General David W. Gardner and Command Sergeant Major David P. Hansen, Commanding General and Post Command Sergeant Major of JRTC and Fort Johnson, welcome to the Warrior Information Exchange for 12 July 2023. With that, sir, Colonel Lopez, we'll pass it off to you for any opening comments you might have.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for helping welcome the Lopez family for the last 4.5 weeks. I appreciate that. On behalf of General Gardner, Ms. Gardner, Sergeant Major Hansen, and Mrs. Hansen, welcome to the middle of July. I know just yesterday the kids were in school and we were all looking forward to leave. Now the kids are out of school and leave is in the rearview mirror. But during today's information exchange, we're going to provide you with a bunch of activities to get you through the rest of the summer, as well as help prepare you for the severe weather. And then, yes, talk about the devilish subject, back to school a little bit. Captain Howlett, back to you.
Okay, July calendar, please. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We'll start with today, the Wie. There's no luncheon following today's Wie. Tomorrow, the 13th, Command Sergeant Major Hall assumes responsibility of Ops Group over at the Glass House, 9 a.m. Next week, Monday the 17th, 5 p.m., walking Town Hall in the Dogwood Terrace neighborhood. This is also the first duty day back from leave for 353rd. The following week, 25th, Tuesday, 6 p.m., a Volunteer of the Quarter ceremony here at the Warrior Center. At the end of the week, the family welcome at 9, post-retirement ceremony, and outdoor movie night, 7 p.m., Toledo Bend. Moving to the next month. The next Wie is Wednesday the 2nd. Again, no luncheon following that Wie. End of the week, 6 a.m., Army 10-miler qualifier, Marion Bonner Trail, 9 a.m. Garrison Commander's golf tournament here at the golf course. That weekend, bass tournament and home-based business market. We've got an 11, 12, 13 August training holiday for the installation. Second Sunday brunch on that Sunday the 13th. The end of the week, 519th MP Battalion changes command, 10 a.m. at the Warrior Gym. And then at 8 p.m. outdoor movie night will be at Allen Memorial Library. The next week, Monday the 21st, walking Town Hall. That neighborhood is to be published. The family welcome at the end of the week, and the retirement ceremonies at the end of the week as well. And then the CG's Golf Open Invitational is the next week, Thursday the 31st. Tee-off is 0800. Are there any questions on either month? Anything that I got wrong? Anything that needs to be corrected? Okay. All right. Thanks, team.
Good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, I have a bit of a cold. So I'm Megan. I'm your community event coordinator for MWR. A couple of things that I would like to highlight is that our leisure travel is open at Playtown if anyone's looking for travel information or a weekend getaway. This summer, all summer until September 8th, the kids will be able to bowl 2 free games at Warrior Lanes. And then our new addition to our monthly battle rhythms is that we have the EFMP Play Hour at Playtown the second Saturday of the month, and that'll be from 9 to 11. And then next slide, please. And then our other activities that we have going on this month, we have Cars and Coffee with Auto Skills on the 15th of July. We will be having a ladies' night at Anvil Bar. The theme is Barbie, the Barbie movie that it will be coming soon. On the 28th and 29th of July, we have Cosmic Golf here at Warrior Hills. And with the 29th, we'll also have the Neon Night 5K run. And then for movie night on July 28th, that will be at Toledo Bend, and we are going to have other activities starting around 5:30. In addition to the movie, we'll have kayak races, volleyball games, cornhole tournament, a little bit of everything for families and kids to come out and enjoy. If no one has any questions, I will hand it over to Boss.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Specialist Kevin West. I'm your installation boss president. For this month's slide, we just wanted to re-highlight some of the ways that BOSS provides resources to our single soldiers across the installation. So really just to briefly cover the pillars of BOSS. With community service, you'll often find BOSS out at humane societies, soup kitchens. With the school year coming back in shortly, you'll see us do supply donations, reading to kids, things of that nature. We work closely with the school support services and school liaison office to make sure that we can take care of our kids and our military families across the installation. Over in life skills, heavily requested and always moved through, we do items such as oil change auto skills was a recent one. We do some carpentry events to teach soldiers carpentry to prepare them for the future. Upcoming, we are also looking to do items such as welding in the next month or two, which I think could be very beneficial, pending training, of course. And then really the last item that we really focus on is really rec and leisure. What can we do to get our single soldiers, whether it be out of the barracks or out of buddy housing, really push to help get them to interact with other communities they might not across our installation. We'll do, different visits to cities, social events, sports tournaments at Anvil Field and whatnot, help get some competition in the mix as well. And then the last item, of course, being quality of life. When soldiers are having concerns come up, using the appropriate chain of command and authorities, of course, they're able to bring these issues to us up at Installation BOSS. And what I do is I reach out typically to either the appropriate command level. I work very closely with the Garrison Sergeant Major, and even in some cases forward things to the appropriate directorates to make sure that we take care of our soldiers, whether it's maybe a question, a concern, maybe someone wants to bring some expanded hours and whatnot. I often push soldiers to use the ICE comment for good feedback or improvement feedback as well. So those are just different aspects of how we can help serve our soldiers across our installation and resources provided. If we could go to the next slide, please. And the 3 upcoming events for this upcoming month here that we are looking to highlight, we have our Tiki Pool Party this Saturday at the 25-meter pool from 1700 to 1800. We have everything from barbecue, some lawn games, some other things going on, so might help get people out and about before they go into the training cycle in this next month here for my peers over in 310. We have the Alexandria Safari visit. It was a huge hit that we did last weekend, and we're looking to do it again just due to the amount of requests that we've had for soldiers who want to participate in going out there and see different exotic animals, things of that nature. And then another item that was conducted yesterday that we are conducting again on the 25th is an assisted study board. We do currently 1 mock board and 1 study board every month to help prepare soldiers for the board. Really happy to announce we had another sergeant promotable graduate on a first time around after going to 2 or 3 of our study boards on our side. So it's really good to see our once peers, now mentors on my side as they continue to promote up through the ranks, make their way through. Pending any questions or concerns, I will be followed by our allies at the school support services. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Tiffany Cook. I am your school liaison officer, and that is a program manager for school support services. Within our office, there's also Lindsay, so you'll see me on the right, and then that's Lindsay on the left. You've probably talked to Lindsay on the phone, or if you're coming in. And then if you have soldiers, hopefully they have talked to Lindsay or I. Lindsay is back in the office full-time now. She recently became a mom. So she has a 4-month-old daughter, but we're happy to have her back in the office. And I think she's happy once she figures out how to balance both. So as Colonel Lopez alluded to, the summer went by kind of quick, and now July you start shifting back in. You see all the 4th of July decorations disappear out of Walmart, and they're soon replaced with school supplies. And then you know that kind of your summer is on the downhill slide. And so with that, Boulgard and Vernon Parish, it is enrollment time, so you can go ahead and start enrolling. You can enroll prior to getting here, so if you have soldiers that are on the way in and want to go ahead and get enrolled, they do early enrollment, especially for high school kids so that they don't miss out on some of those classes. So we really encourage it. If they have juniors and seniors, to go ahead and reach out to our office. We'll connect them with the counselor at the high school where they're going to be zoned for, and then to make sure that they're not missing out on some of those higher level courses that they'll need. So you'll see both of the back to school dates there, the 24th in Beauregard Parish and the 21st in Vernon Parish. There is a back to school fair and supply giveaway that's going to be in the Leesville downtown market this year, and that's the 5th of August. And then on the installation on the 18th, we will be having a back to school themed movie night. So it'll be the regular programming for MWR, but the theme will be back to school movie night. It'll be at the 18th, and it will be at the Ed Center. We'll have many of the things on the right side of the slide where we talk about how we help families connect. They'll be there. So there'll be a school representative from Vernon and Beauregard Parish that parents can ask questions to. We'll also have some on and off post extracurricular educational opportunities that parents can ask questions with, 4-H, our CYS after school programs, as well as our CYS sports. As we kind of transition to that slide, I do want to let families and command know, please let your families know to utilize our services. These are all the different things that we can assist families with. So there isn't a real, like, with the schools, you know, I didn't know that was an option. Like, there's always an exception to policy. It's a very unique lifestyle that all of us live as active duty service members and our families, with lots of different places and experiences that we've had. So please give our office the opportunity to make sure that your child gets credit for everything. And I say that to pass it down to your lowest level of soldier. Please have them reach out to our office. These are, I mean, we provide guidance with everything from getting into the birth to 5-year-old program that's embedded within Vernon Parish, that is a free program that they brought here due to us saying, hey, this is something that we need. We have a hard time getting our families into our CYS services. There's something that you can help with. And so they did apply for this grant to extend their early childhood learning down to birth. So we can help families get into that program and give them guidance. It does have different qualifying factors to get into that program, but we can help the families with their application. We can let them see what the standard is and all the different things that will help them qualify for that program. We can make sure that their IEPs are covered through the Military Interstate Compact. We'll work closely with the EFMP on that. We also can link them in with the youth sponsor, which is a peer-to-peer program where they can get their questions asked with adult oversight from a peer. So it's not my office or another parent trying to tell them, oh yeah, you really should try this out. It's so cool, because especially if they're 12 or above, they don't really want to listen to us, and we know that. But they will listen to another 12 or 13-year-old tell them how cool something is. So we definitely encourage, again, if you have soldiers coming, have their kids participate in youth sponsorship. And then again, some of the things they just don't realize is even if you're homeschooling, and so you think, oh, I don't need them, we homeschool. Within each place that you're traveling to, and Texas is really great unless you're going to try to graduate with a Texas diploma. So you can homeschool all day in Texas, but don't think that you're going to get a diploma at the end of it that's recognized by the state of Texas. So Louisiana does have a way that you can homeschool and still get a recognized state-issued diploma where you're not doing the HiSET or GED program. And then Pennsylvania has really stringent laws where you've got to prove all this other time that you homeschooled, even to get credit. So some of those things just, we can help navigate through that. With homeschooling. Course selection and transfer. So that means if your child has a credit that maybe says, let's see, I'm trying to think of one that we've had recently. So a forensics credit, right? So we're going to look and see exactly what was that in the last state that you were in, and what can it qualify for here in this state. Because you're not going to lose it, because that's not something that's recognized on the Louisiana graduation plan. Athletics and co-curricular activities, they do have to provide you with a tryout slot, so we can make sure and kind of remind them of those policies that the Louisiana Department of Ed as well as the LHSAA has agreed to as part of the Military Interstate Compact. And we can help you. You can actually go ahead and start participating. You can get your physical done out of state. Your you and your family can hit the ground here and you can go to practice on Monday and the coach can do a tryout with you there. We have a child right now that's done that with baseball. His parents started working with us back in June. We started working with the high school athletic director at Leesville High School, and the child has already started workouts now because he came with a physical. That's a lot of times what holds people up. It's also what holds people up at CYS getting enrolled. You can also do a virtual appointment prior to getting here with CYS, and when you can enroll for programming over the phone and be ready to start when you get here. So just really work with your families to reach out to us so we can put them in contact with the right places to make sure. And it's just easier to come through our office because it makes it one centralized point to disseminate all this. Because if not, then the service member's trying to, call the school and find out at the school and call CYS. And so our whole mission from our office is transitional assistance. That's the first part. There's 4 parts, but that's our first and main mission. So please, have your soldiers reach out to us and allow us that opportunity to make their transition as smooth as it can be for them and their families. Yes, sir.
You can also, there's a kind of a misconception that you can't enroll in youth sports, like remotely before you get here. That was the case at one point. That has changed. The word's kind of still going around here from time to time that you can't do that. You absolutely can. If you ever have any issues trying to do it because it is kind of new, ask to speak to a manager. But you can definitely enroll in the CYS to include youth sports before you arrive here.
Yeah, we link, if you come through the process is, and so if you talk to the management team and outreach, or you talk to us in school support services, we'll link you in with an email to the management team at outreach, and then they'll email you and link you in with a registration clerk. And so we follow it all along the way. But as Mr. Cole said, it's just getting your documents, and you absolutely can submit them virtually and enroll in programming. Yes, ma'am.
It might be too early to ask this question, but I know when the first days of school are, but do we have an idea of when, what I call them like the back to school nights where they want you to come, enroll your, do all,
It's-
set that out yet?
It's looking like it's going to be that week prior, since they're starting on a Monday this year, and they're hoping by doing a week prior, they'll be able to stagger them better so that if you have a kid at multiple schools, that's one of the feedbacks that we gave them last year, is that some of our parents just couldn't make it to all 3 because if you had 3 kids. So they are trying to stagger them this year and do it over a whole week, where last year they tried to do it in 3 days.
Would you get that to me?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, Ms. Tiffany, in the same vein, I know the school calendar has been published for, both parishes, for all the schools. Have they indicated when they'll publish the bus schedules?
They have not. They will have that as finalized as it can be that week of school where it's back to school nights, because that's when they're going to disseminate that information to parents. They still did work. They were looking to try to get something that was a little more automated with the bus schedules. I think with this being rural and isolated, what they realized is it may cause more frustration than was going to be worth it when they tried it out, because it was delayed in sending different stuff. So like you would get to where you got down to like 1 bar of service, because it was all digital, location. But it would lose. So as they bring on hopefully more broadband infrastructure, more cellular service that's accurate to the area, we will have something a little better that some of you may be used to at larger installations. But for now, just so you know, it will be back to the same that it's been before, where it is a paper copy that they'll be giving you at the school about when your bus time is and things like that. But that should be that week right prior to school starting, during the back to school nights. Any other questions? All right. Oh, yes.
Is one more on the back to school fair on 5 August. Is there a specific time frame for that, or is it just all day on 5 August?
It's gonna start, so that it'll be in conjunction with the downtown market that they already had that has all the fruits and vegetables and things. So there'll be jumpies and different information tables set up that morning, starting very early when the farmers get there, and then it'll go through till about 5 o'clock. Great question, thank you.
Okay.
And we'll share, they haven't published marketing just yet. They've kind of done a save the date. When they publish their official marketing from the downtown Friends of Main Street is the one that's hosting it. We'll share that. All right, well, pending no other questions, I will be followed by the vet clinic. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Specialist Radigan, and I'm a 68 Tango from the Animal Care Clinic here on Fort Johnson. I just wanted to speak briefly about CONUS and OCONUS requirements to travel with your pets. Let's see. It can take up to 180 days to meet destination requirements. And you will need to be registered with the clinic before you can make any appointments. To register with us, we just ask that you come in and fill out a form. If you have any of your pet's immunization records, you can bring those with you as well. And let's see, to travel, you will need to meet the basic requirements with vaccines. So your dog and cats will need to be up to date on rabies, distemper, and lepto. They will need to be microchipped as well. It needs to be an ISO compliant microchip with 15 digits. It is very important that your pet have a microchip before receiving any rabies vaccinations. If your pet has received a rabies before getting its microchipped, it is invalid. Once you've received your orders and determine if your PCS will be CONUS or OCONUS, we highly recommend that you look at the aphis.usda/pet travel website. It has a lot of helpful information about what you will need and all of the details required. Sometimes it could need, your pet could need to be dewormed. The pet will need to be quarantined, and FAVNs are also required sometimes, and these things can take time. So we just want you to make sure that you have enough time to get these things done for your animal. We can assist you with all your pet travels and requirements. In order to get a health certificate from us, it does need to be done with the USDA certified veterinarian, which you can find on most military installations. As you see on the slide, it's also important to have rabies vaccinations. If you have the originals, those are required. And health certificates should be given within 10 days of arrival or travel. I hope that was helpful. Does anybody have any questions about anything? All right. Well, that was a quick pointer. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Stacy Delgado, and I'm with the Employment Readiness Program. I'd like to talk to you today about the Military Spouse Career Accelerator Fellowship Program. It's something that's new, and a lot of information has not been put out about this. We have posters and things. I've left some of the flyers on your tables. It has both the employer information and also for the spouses. This program is a 12-week program that is actually paid through the Department of Defense for military spouses who have career education that they have not been able to get a position in that career field, and it accelerates their job. And so we have we have 2 employers locally that would be in person, but there are lots of employers that are going through the Hiring Our Heroes and also through the Military Spouse Employment Partnership that have remote positions that military spouses can actually start working in. You can do either in person or remote, and how it works is you go online and you fill out a survey, okay? And the survey is pretty lengthy. I will tell you that. There's probably about 50 to 75 questions that you have to answer. What happens is then, it's a lot of questions. I'm like, whoa. What will happen, once you complete that, you submit it, and then you will be paired with a company or a business or corporation that matches your skill set. Our regional managers down in Florida, Ms. Newt did tell me that if there is somebody locally that a spouse would like to start this fellowship program with, that she's more than welcome for you guys to come see me. And I will get the information up to her so that we can get this person signed on as an employer in this program and get it expedited so that the spouse can actually start this 12-week program. Many of you may not know of some of the, well, do I have any questions on this? No? Okay. I'm going to highlight a couple of my services that I provide at Employment Readiness. I do a federal application class once a month, and this class is very valuable for military spouses who would like to get into the federal system. It helps with the NAF application, it helps with the appropriated fund side, so GS jobs. It also helps with like AVs. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of our jobs that we have on the installation are actual federal jobs, and it just is, USA jobs can be challenging. And so I provide a class where you walk out with a really great book. It has templates for your resume. It also has the cover letters. It has a lot of really great information in it. Then I go through on USA Jobs with you, complete from start to finish what that stuff means on that application, okay, on the announcement that's out there. I do one-on-one appointments. If you can't make it to one of the classes, I can do the federal application and also help you with local jobs. And so we can do job searches, interview techniques. I can help you with your resume. And we can discuss career goals. You may have just graduated. I just had a spouse that just graduated with her bachelor's degree in psychology. She didn't know what she wanted to do with it. So we started talking, and during our conversation, she did admit that she was artsy. And so I said, I said, have you ever thought about art therapy or play therapy with children with like an ABA clinic? And she said, oh, no, what is that? So what we did is we started researching on that. We found some place for her to get credentialed, and now she's working with our EFMs out at one of our clinics that are off post. So we do have, and I've instituted LinkedIn classes. We have our profile class, and we also have a job search class that runs the same day as the federal application. So you can come in at 10 o'clock in the morning, spend an hour and a half with me, and then in the afternoon you would be spending a couple of hours with our team's person who's doing our LinkedIn. Do I have any questions? Okay, I will be followed by EFMP.
Good morning, can you hear me? Okay. My name is Trisha Kearns, I'm the program coordinator for EFMP. Being that it is peak PCS season, I want to share with you guys some supports that we can provide families during this time, specifically the difference between the family support side of EFMP and the medical side, and what we can both offer to assist our families. For family support with PCS, we do a lot of work with in and out processing and coordinating care both upon arrival here as well as soldiers leaving, and making sure that we're starting the continuity of care before they leave and before they arrive to their next installation. Some of the other stuff that we can assist with that you might not know about is getting the information squared away if you've got service members that are coming here on unaccompanied assignments because EFMP has been denied. We can get them the letters that they need for BAH waivers to make sure that the BAH is established where the family is currently located while the service member is here. We can also assist a little bit with the process for ADA modifications. If there's specific medical needs within the home, we can walk them through that process, making sure that their medical documents are squared away and taken care of so they can get that access to the care or access to their home that they need, and the differences in those processes. When it comes to medical, the specifics they're going to look at is anything that's medically related. So Tammy's job at the hospital is to process all of the packets. So that's the updates, enrollments, disenrollments, family member travel screenings. She does all of that. For the family member travel screening specifically, because this is PCS season, we do look to start that process about 4 months prior to their moving, because it can take some time. So just being aware of that. The other things that she does is getting the letters that's required for extended health care coverage. That the letters and the documents that's needed for that does come from the medical side versus the family support. As school starts, some of the other stuff that family support can offer, we do a lot of work with school liaison and the surrounding school districts, walking through IEPs, what that looks like if there's concerns when the school year starts. Usually the first 9 weeks we'll start to get an influx of families that need additional assistance for 504 plans, initial registration for IEPs, what that process looks like. If they're seeing difficulties, usually around September we'll see an increase in that, but we are available for that. We can walk them through, brief before and after, be present in those meetings, how to teach families how to advocate better for their child, that kind of stuff. The trends that we are seeing, just kind of for awareness, we do still have a pretty significant amount of compassionate reassignments that are continuous. We do have supports both on the medical as well as the family support through that process. For the family support side, we can walk you through what the timeline looks like, the routing process, the procedures, the forms that's needed, all of that. And then the family support, they're gonna go and make sure that you get the compassionate memorandum that's required to process that for the compassionate action itself. We can also work with HRC on the family support side to establish what the options are for assignments, to see what is open for MOS as well as what's the best fit for the family's medical needs. We do a lot of work with that and contacting and liaisoning between the different installations, so we can do that as well. The other area that we're seeing difficulty in is the enterprise EFMP system is not the most user-friendly. It's been almost a year now that it's gone live, and that's the new system for all of EFMP processing of packets. We have created an how-to guide with the family support. We can have families come in and walk them through how to actually use the system. Tammy at the hospital can also do that. It's a little bit more difficult because she's got a different dashboard that has to be popped up for that. But both sides can help walk through what the enterprise system is supposed to do. It is a kind of a lengthy process. So again, we're looking at about 90 days at least for those processing of packets. So knowing when you've got questions, starting that as early as possible is going to be the best solution to assist our families the most effectively that we can. Some of the stuff that we do have coming up, like MWR STED, we've started EFMP support groups, so we're starting that every second Saturday of the month from 9 to 11 at the Playtown Cafe. We're trying to build natural supports within the EFMP community with younger children. That's kind of just step one, so we'll be building on that to encompass more of our families ongoing as the year progresses. The thing that we're doing this month for a workshop, we're starting to do a EFMP preparedness on the 25th of July, and what that is going to do is make sure that we're looking at how to plan for natural disasters, how to plan for emergencies or specific quick changes, and what needs to be considered when we talk about EFMP, some of the stuff that might be missed, medical needs, medication, childcare, that kind of stuff. We're going to build a binder and have more of resources so families can not be blindsided if something comes up in the future. I know it's hurricane season, so we're trying to get some stuff established just in case things get a little crazy. But we are both, there are two sides, so there's the ACS, EFMP, and then there's the hospital for BJACH. So either one, you can contact us both if you've got questions or concerns. We're likely to at least be able to find the answer for you. Okay. Any questions for me? No. Okay, I will be followed by the Education Center.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Glenn McMahon. I'm the Education Services Officer, ESO. The Army has a long-standing tradition of taking an interest in the education of its soldiers, going all the way back to Valley Forge. And I have a really geeky book in my office to prove that if anyone's interested, but I assume not. So we have a lot of services that we offer. We basically help anyone who comes through the door. We're only funded for soldiers, but we don't let that stop us. If you're a family member, if you're a contractor, and you have an educational question beyond high school, come in and see us. We'd love to help you. We do, obviously, guidance counseling. We can help with college admissions. We have information available on funding your education, regardless of what it is, whether it's a certificate program or moving on through advanced programs, master's degrees, what have you. We also have information available for GI Bill. If you're a soldier that wants to improve their GT score, we also have a very good BSEP program. We help you do that so that you can improve your GT score, maybe get into an officer ascension program, or change MOSs, whatever you want to do. We have classrooms that are available for unit training. A lot of units utilize our classrooms. We have a really nice setup, really modern education center. We have 3 schools on post, Central Texas College, Northwestern State University, and Upper Iowa University. They have programs ranging from certificates all the way through the master's level. If you have any interest in furthering your education, whether it's with these schools on post or with a school online, come and see us. We can help you. There's funding available from the military for soldiers. If you're not a soldier, if you're a family member or a contractor, we have other information that's available for you as well. Soldiers can get up to $4,000 a year in either tuition assistance, that's to pay for traditional college classes, or credentialing assistance, that's to pay for industry-specific credentials. Okay? Also, tomorrow, we're going to have a recruiter for the AMED program coming by. Staff Sergeant Palmer will be here from 10 to 1400. So if you have any questions at all about that, please come by and see them. We also are offering a College 101 briefing the first and third Wednesday every month at 13:30. So please come by and join us for that. If I seem distracted, I'm sorry. My air conditioning went out yesterday at home. The guy came out and fixed it, but now my wife is texting that it's hot in the house. So I have texts coming from her and from him into my hearing aids. So I apologize if I seem distracted.
That's pretty fun.
We're open and in the office from 07:30 to 15:45. Of course, if you come in at 1600 and you're standing there looking at the sign and you've got your clearing papers and I see you, I will take care of you. Any questions at all for me? No? Thank you very much. I'll be followed by BJACH.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jean Graves. I'm the Public Affairs Officer for Bain Jones Army Community Hospital. If I forget anything, Colonel Wilma and Sergeant Major Devereaux will have an opportunity to kind of fill you in on anything I might have missed at the end of this briefing. So the first thing you'll see on our slide is the QR code for managed care. This is to help facilitate getting the medical TDY memo and prime travel reimbursement. So soldiers no longer need to come to the office. They can click that QR code. It'll generate an email, and they'll get you squared away virtually. 5 August from 8 a.m. to noon, we are hosting a breastfeeding awareness community and family health fair. August is Breastfeeding Awareness Month. That is the primary focus of the event. However, we've got new parent support group that'll be there. We're going to have food trucks, bounce house, door prizes, child safety seat inspections, community resources. I believe WIC will be there. So it's going to be a really great event for the whole family. So don't feel turned off by, oh, I'm not breastfeeding right now. This isn't for me, or this isn't my thing. There's going to be a lot of other stuff there for your family from a health kind of perspective. So come on out, it's gonna be great. And I'd shout out to Specialist Pierce, our LPN and LDRP, who's taken the lead on this. I'm really proud of her. Number 3, breast cancer awareness support group. We have a meeting every 4th Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m. in our PTOT conference room, which is our rehabilitation department on the 1st floor. So if you come in by the pharmacy, take the elevator down and hang a right, it's right there. Number 4, I'm going to reiterate what Glenn said about the AMED Recruiters Commissioning Program. That's tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1400 at the Ed Center in classroom 107. MHS Genesis Patient Portal, this isn't on the slide. Alibis, I went on leave, so I turned in my slide way prior to when I needed to, so there's stuff that's happened since then. Fort Johnson is now on there. So if you are using the MHS Genesis patient portal, you can now search for Fort Johnson, and it's FT Johnson, just like the old one was. After our sports physicals, those started yesterday. There's flyers on your tables. If you don't have enough, I have more. And if you want me to send them to you electronically, come see me after this meeting. Q Anywhere. Q Anywhere is a way that you can check into the pharmacy for any new electronic prescription. So you're sitting at PCMH, you have an appointment, the doctor says, hey, you need to pick up this whatever, do the Q Anywhere, go run some errands, you'll get a text about 2 hours later that your prescription's ready and you can avoid the wait. Speaking of waiting at the pharmacy, lunchtime is the busiest time. So if you want to avoid a long wait, don't go to the pharmacy at lunch. And I think that's all I have. But like I said, my commander and sergeant major are here, and they will fill you in if you have any additional questions or concerns. Any questions for me while I'm up here?
I just want to add, appreciate the great work on that awareness for the breastfeeding community event. I just want to make sure we're getting that word out.
We are. It should be in the Guardian.
Okay.
I've sent it out. It's on our Facebook page. I think the JRTC and Fort Johnson page has shared it. If they haven't, we'll probably spin it up as we go. But follow the BJACH page. I put a lot of content on there, and I try to keep the community informed. April.
So can I make a suggestion for you?
Sure.
Could you keep it breast, but maybe change that image just a little to where you maybe add the little bounce, add it to where it
Make it more like a family fun health event. And we can do that. I didn't make this flyer, but I will get with the person who did and see if they want some help, and we get it tweaked.
But
I like it.
Mark, I know how you're thinking, but because I did not, that image, the wording is so small, I didn't see that. I know that image, so I would target families who need that. I would not have looked at what all you had until you.
And you know what I think? This event is going to be so awesome, and there's so many people interested in it, it's becoming a little bit bigger than what it initially intended. So I agree with you, and I will get a new flyer together and get something out on that. I appreciate that feedback. Yeah, yeah. And Tiffany, I feel like I'm teaching.
In reference to the CYS and sports physicals, the after-hours clinic, you do have to bring your own forms. We have those forms digitally, so if the families, so they don't have to come into the office to get them, we can give them the LHSAA, which is the high school physical form, as well as the CYS form. You can email the Fort Johnson at schoolliaison@army.mil, and we'll send those out to you.
Yes.
We just did sports physicals. This is my question to both of you, is that when I went and I downloaded the sports physical from the CYS website here, you guys are using the 09 version, but when you go to the Department of the Army, it's 10. So there's 2 different versions for the actual sports physical. So let's say a family is coming in, will you accept either version?
Yes.
I have no idea.
And honestly, they just do, like, they just do the medical part and check it off.
Right.
Yes.
But as a new family coming in, and you download the most updated version, because like the Navy had a entirely different one, and we came in, I was like, ooh. And they're like, no, we're good. So I double checked with the clinic. I was like, what version are you handing families? And I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. But I just, as a new family coming in, I don't want there to be apprehension, oh, I have to start all over again because my version is not what
No, and honestly, if you still have an updated version at whatever installation you're coming from, you're good until your re-registration. So you don't, and you have, they're yearly. So if you've gotten in April and you arrive here in May, you're good again until that following April from whatever form your last installation is.
But I want to make sure that was kind of a clear, when we see new families coming in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Anybody else? This has been fun. I will be followed by, it has been actually, I appreciate it. I'll be followed by CORVIAS.
Good morning. I am Kirk, the Operations Director for CORVIAS. We're going to give you an update on our playgrounds. Our work actually started June 1st with some demolition and whatnot. And so far, what we've done is we have $81,000 shaded playground has been approved, and we're waiting for delivery on that, so that's forthcoming. And this is going to be the first of 3 that will be installed at other communities areas. Also, we have changed out 17 swings so far, and we'll be working on completing a total of 113 single swings and 30 bucket seats swings. We're just waiting on some delivery with those. Those should be completed within the next 2 weeks. Also, we're adding amenity. We're taking the tennis court that's on Say, and we're converting it to a pickleball court. And we're in the process of doing the work, and that should be completed within the next 2 weeks as well. Okay. The next item that we're going to talk about is pet registration and items that need to happen. So I'm just going to kind of go over what needs to happen when you come on base. At move-in, residents will need to sign the pet addendum that is contained within their lease paperwork, and also provide a photo of the animal. The next thing that will happen is you will be given a vet registration form that will need to be filled out, and then you would bring that to your vet or the installation vet. At that time, they're going to verify the information. Once this has been verified and signed off, you need to bring that back to your community or your neighborhood centers, so we could add that to your documentation on file. Make sure, please understand that the pet must be registered, and also it needs to be microchipped within 5 days of arrival or you moving in. If it's not, then we would consider that a lease violation, and you could be asked to remove your pet till it's completed. So it's very important for those 2 things that happen. Of course, you know, the stray animals that we have going on, this will help us track and who the animal belongs to and get it back to its rightful owner. Also understand that you're only allowed 2 pets per household. Any more than you could, if there is more that is needed, then you can fill out other forms and get that approval through our process. Any service animals and ESA animals also need to be registered, and that will require an additional form that needs to be filled out. Also on the slide, I've listed it lists our band breeds that we have. If there's any other, do we have any questions?
Sir, real quick.
Yes.
First, thank you for making the playground safer. I took a deep dive on this subject, and I do appreciate what CORVIAS is doing with the playgrounds. Second, I guess, boss, you can take note. Pickleball, when it opens, I'm hearing the beginning of October. It's going to be awesome. That's all I have, sir.
That's okay. Yeah, we're quite excited, and I do apologize for the taking so long with the playground. Sometimes it's out of our hands, and it gets into some major legal stuff. But we're starting to see some movement, so I'm really excited about that for everybody. Yes.
So I do see it. I mean, we're getting a lot of negative feedback regarding the playgrounds. Is this going to be public knowledge other than here? How else are you marketing that there is now movement, anticipation, what this is going to look like?
We have. Right, I appreciate that. Yes, we have sent out some previous things that we're starting to move, and we're going to be sending out some very shortly. Okay. I want to make sure that I verify that I don't want to give false hope that the playground will be installed in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because we just don't know what that delivery date will be. But we will be sending out something very shortly as far as the swings and the updates. And then, yes, we will probably have some good information and talk about points with the pickleball court once we get finished and completed. Of course, we're seeing a little bit of rain that may delay things, but yes, once it's done, we're gonna get some good news stories out to get that out to everybody.
Yes, ma'am. But specifically, we'll get an email out here very shortly, and then we'll double tap it through the PAO channels, through the installation website.
Absolutely.
Through the Facebook, so forth and so on. So we will get the message out, and it'll be more transparency than kind of just bullet point talking points.
Great.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, I'll be followed by BJ.
office as DPM following you. Unfortunately, y'all got me. I'm sorry about that. Good morning. I'm Dusty Andrews, and on behalf of my director, Mr. Mark Leslie, I want to speak to you about the impending doom and gloom that we always talk about. Weather, gee, criminy. Listen, weather season's fixing to come on us, and I want you, especially if you're new here, we have these things called hurricanes that come up out of the Gulf or out of the off the west coast of Africa. They have a tendency to come right at us. Sometimes they veer off, sometimes they don't. But anyway, we're coming up on our hottest part of the season in August, September, and October. And I want you to impress on your formations out there to have a kit and make a plan. It's 4 steps, so real quick. Bad news is it's 273 pieces per step. So we're going to go over this. Settle down. We're gonna talk about this. No, I'm kidding. The biggest thing is people that live on post, our DPW and our soldier volunteers, our voluntold, and our contractors and all that do a real good job getting this installation back on track and getting it up and running. But for those families living off post, I'm hate to say it, but some of the parishes are not as quick to get them up and running if an event happens. In that case, they need to have a kit. They need to be able to sustain themselves for 3 to 5 days. So that's kind of the goal from FEMA. 3 days supply. I can tell you that sometimes it's gonna last a little bit longer. But try to have your people set aside some money. Have them make sure they fill up their tanks with gasoline or diesel or whatever it is. If it's on a 3/4 of a tank, it's empty as far as my household is concerned. Got to fill up. Live out in the country, so you already got to use some just to get into work. So, and press on that. Even if it's 20, 40, 60 bucks, set aside someplace just so when the ATMs are not working, you have some cash on hand. I know it's hard sometimes, but you got to set that aside. Have a little Contico box or whatever it may be, a little some of those little plastic totes that you can buy at Lowe's. Have it filled with some Dinty Moore or some other food that can be just opened and eaten without even having to microwave it. But just something to sustain themselves. Have some water on hand, and go over your emergency plan with your family. Talk to them about it. Talk to your kids about it. If something should happen, and it, God forbid, a tornado would hit, if they're not home, where's your rally point? Where's your link-up point going to be? How are you going to get back together? Someplace that you're going to go and discuss it with them. Just openly discuss with your family what they need to do in any event. And I don't mean to be doom and gloom. This is not likely to happen, but when it happens, if you haven't made a plan, it's really too late to try to put one together ad hoc, if you will. So I'm not going to belabor the point. If there are any questions for me, like I said, we're coming up on the hottest part of the year, not only heat-wise, but for activity in the Gulf. So.
We're counting on you to keep it all.
No, like I said, if it works out well, it's my fault. It's my fault. Not so much Dennis O'Reilly, Chief Ops. It's his fault, not me. Okay, thank you very much. Captain out.
So just want to highlight quickly the slide for the CG's Good Conduct Incentive Program. Special highlight to those with a star next to their unit. Those are the units that have earned it 2 months in a row. So thank you for your participation in this and keep doing great work. Sergeant Major, do you have any comments on this that you would like to mention?
We fall into one.
Okay, we'll move on to the next slide, please. And we'll jump into our alibis. Ops group, any alibis? Okay. Doesn't look like 353rd, 310. Oh, sorry.
On the for August, that rotation they talked about on the calendar slide, so that's us. 310. So we're going to go free Orland after the Eagle Greenlands invade once again. But I know there's been a lot of support on all the BMM and taskings and everything. Appreciate everybody working with us to make sure we maximize that training opportunity. And then for the Warrior restaurants, just realize that during that rotational period, they will be greatly reduced. Patriot will stay open, but that'll be about the only one, just so we can get the 92 golfs out in the field as well. And then for the team that updated the resource guide, appreciate the efforts in helping us out there.
All right, 30 seconds. Okay. 1-5.
Just an FYI for your families as they budget. So we got a note from, I guess Vernon Parish is doing free lunch this year for school year.
And breakfast.
And breakfast. So my dad was wrong. There is such thing as a free lunch. That's all we got.
46.
I just got one question. Will the BJACH hours change during the rotation, or will they stay the same?
Yeah, same hours, just there won't be the food truck down at Geronimo. That'll be reduced, and then what we're able to serve will be reduced.
590. And Dentac. All right, next slide, please. Pass it over to BJACH.
I can just be loud, or you can give me one of these things. Okay, so I'm mostly just going to foot stomp things that Jean said earlier. Absolutely great work on her part. We are doing those physicals, but you do need to call for an appointment is what I've been told, so great job on my team with that. The AMED commissioning brief, take advantage of that, put that out to your folks. I actually have 2 folks in my hospital that are going to go do that. One's a civilian and one's enlisted, and they want to pursue a medical career wearing a green suit, so thumbs up on that. The medical TDY memo, thank you, Command Sergeant Major, for that stomp. That's going to be, that really makes things super easy. Just pop that code and it helps you get your memo so that you can get reimbursed, especially for your non-medical attendants and folks like that that are going along with you. The pharmacy, she's right. Just like the commissary and the PX, hitting the pharmacy between 11:30 and 1 is probably not your smartest idea if you can avoid it. So utilize all the systems we have, the QR codes, the call-ins, everything that will get you in and out. When I do it right, it's like I get a text, I click, I walk down, it's right there, I just pick it up and walk away. And if I try to just go pull a ticket, it could be 5 minutes, it could be a lot longer. So I highly recommend utilize the systems that DHA and MedCom are helping us build to make this happen smoothly. Pharmacy is a challenge. What they do back there is super complex to make certain that we get the right medications, that everything's correctly dated, correctly labeled, that we do all the tracking, all the inventory tracking. We count every pill. So if you've done an inventory, you know what that looks like. So just bear with us while they do the right thing, but be aware that all these systems are there to help you not have to wait while we do the right thing. Okay, pending any questions? CSM? Okay, I'm out.
I think that leaves it with me. I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight all of the AAFES activities that are on the post, or at least my daughter wants me to plug a couple of them for y'all. There are 10 retail facilities, including our great PX, that is open and running. There is a small bathroom problem for the next few days while we deal with a water leak, but it's all safe, it is open, and they're selling great stuff, according to my daughter. There are also 14 places to eat on this post. Slim Chickens is one of them. It's her favorite. She recommends it to each of y'all. There is also one theater for all you air-conditioned warriors. Showboat Theater is open and running and pushing forward. And then I heard that the new Garrison Commander for you, Mr. Cole, the new Garrison Commander is waiting for that shooting tournament to be put on the calendar.
Oh, we got that feedback this morning, too.
And that's all I have. Over to you, Sergeant Major.
They want to do more shooting events out there, so that's great to hear. Hey, welcome back from well-deserved absentee, I think we're calling it now, and vacation or just some time off. Hopefully you guys got refreshed. A lot of new families and service members still coming in, so we're in that transition period, so we'll welcome them to the team. Great job by the team today, a lot of good information, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the summer and then moving into the school time period. Coming out of DC, one of the big theme. We've all heard the chief talk about it, but we're still trying to bring in great people in the Army. So we got to continue to do that. We got to continue to tell our Army stories out there and continue to bring in great people, because we're down quite a bit. And I know all the units are feeling it, but we got to keep doing that. A lot of great things across the post. We got Lava Brigade coming in for their rotation, 310s on their road to war to JRTC. A couple units still deployed, 1-5, always getting after it. So a lot of great stuff. But thank you, and then we're going to do Civilian of the Month.
Yes, sir. Mr. Edwards, please come forth. Sir, so Chief of Community Recreation, serving literally as the foundation, the sole person as the foundation of the Sportsman Paradise Stream here in central Louisiana. He is the boss chief. He is the Toledo Bend chief. He is the Alligator Lake chief. He is the Home of Heroes Recreation Center chief. You're the shooting range chief. Take note, earlier we're going to be doing some shooting here later on. And when I say chief, I mean the vacancies that Sergeant Major just talked about with hit you, and you are filling those perfectly. Again, from my son, who goes out to every one of those locations almost daily. He thanks you. I thank you. I thank you on behalf of all of the soldiers, the family members, the children that go out to those locations. It's awesome. On behalf of the Brigadier General Gardner, I'll present you my coin and then give you the parking space in front of the building for the next few months. Or next month, I should say. Thank you. Sorry, mate. Okay, so the soldier for the month, and if you haven't met this soldier, wow, what an incredible soldier. I mean, he's always got a smile on his face, always motivated. This guy's just getting after it. So he's the Garrison Command Group driver, but his specific actions for, his parking space is going to be color bearer for the Garrison colors during the Fort Johnson redesignation ceremony, then turned around and was part of the color guard for the Garrison change of command. So he's absolutely been crushing it, and well-deserved. In fact, he's such a go-getter. He's out there right now trying to earn his German Snoopers meter. Right now, hopefully he gets gold, so we'll see. So he's not able to be here today, but he's got the parking spot, and we'll make sure he gets his coin. So PFC yarn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's brief. The next one will be 2 August. Thank you all for being here.